So ladies and gentlemen, welcome all to a brand new series here for the channel, SAO, Alicization, SAO Season 3, whatever you want to call it. This is a show that I have been waiting for so long. And SAO, it was one of those animes I have watched from the start. And I know I kind of say that throughout a lot of, I guess animes in this channel. If it's Danmachi, if it's Naruto, or if it's even this, for example. But I've waited so long for this moment, guys. SAO was like Attack on Titan. Season 2 premiered 4 years ago, and now this is Season 3 of Kirto's story. I don't want to count the movie or that other spin-off series that wasn't Kirto, but it kind of had, some Easter eggs here or there from SAO. I'm just talking about, Kirto's journey, with Asuna, with Klein, all those characters. We're finally back with the story here today, and I'm just saying that I don't know how people could hate on this, and especially of what's going down this season, of how it's going to play out. This is definitely going to be an anime and a season to remember 100%. To start off with the story, it's actually really cool. I jump into this episode and it's 50 minutes long. Usually with an anime episode, it's always, 23, 24, especially, with the episode, with the opening and the ending credits. But I think that's what SAO was kind of with, ever since they started Season 1 and Season 2, or maybe it was just Season 1, that it was actually 50 minutes long. I didn't watch SAO from the beginning, when it was live. I just, caught up to it and I'm like, oh, okay, this show looks cool. So yeah, a 50-minute episode here today, which I kind of like, and it was actually at a really good pacing, because I think if they would have just done 24 minutes long, people would have been really confused. So with this episode beginning, I was a little bit confused of what was going on, because I even was looking at the countdown as well, and when I was recording the episode, and oh wow, the first bit of this is 25 minutes long. This is already an episode long already. It's talking about kind of the backstory, with the characters and with Kirto, that he's in the underground world. This is where Alicization is going to take place, and these are some new characters, new introductions that we get introduced, which is Igio and Alice. I know Igio, I think I'm saying his name wrong, but hopefully I'm saying it right. So we get introduced into those two characters here today, and we see kind of Kirto young talking with them. We see kind of the timer of days and months going past, and it was all confusing altogether, kind of what the story was beginning. They were talking about the taboo index, that if they break the law, then something really bad will happen to them, which we even see Alice in the story here with them going to the dark world, because kind of the first bit is them going to this cave to collect ice. This is kind of their so-called mission, that since they could go to this place without breaking the rules, because they just want ice for snacks, and to kind of have more of a journey without breaking any of the rules. And for me, it was totally confusing off the bat. I had no idea what the hell was going on throughout this story. I thought it was maybe a little bit of a flashback, because Kirto is somewhat really young in this, but he's just in the dive system. He's just in this soul transfer this whole entire time with the characters. And we even see that kind of at the ending of this little segment, that Igio is not human. We see that he is part of this game and part of the underground world, that, when he tries to go and save Alice, because Alice, when they're about to go into the dark territory, because the dark territory is part of the rules, that if you, even lay a finger in that, world, you'll break the rules, and that could lead to execution. Which, by the way, Alice's father in this, I'm surprised he didn't even put up a fight or anything like that. Her father was just talking to the knight, and is yeah, what's all wrong? I know my daughter did a bad thing, but he's no, don't worry, Alice, she broke the rules, she's gonna be executed, hand her over. And her father just does that, and I'm you don't even put up a fight? I know that the father and Alice are not real, but still, as kind of a video game, and this is definitely more than a video game. They're gonna probably talk about that more throughout this anime, but he just hands her over like that, and I'm okay, I guess he just did that. Well, Kirto is trying to actually step up, he's trying to swing an axe to this knight to help save Alice, but unfortunately that doesn't break up. And then when he wakes up, he all knows that this is part of, the video game. This is part of his job that he, is into now. This is his new journey in his life as him. But we get more information about that going into the next segment. I'll be honest, the next segment, or the half part of this episode, got me more excited animated than the other one. And I know that the first segment of this episode, it's going to be more focused, like that's where the anime is going to go towards, but man, this second segment, there is so much to talk about in this episode. Okay, first things first, when we see the Bae Sinon, you know, we see her, you know, the season 2 form. This is what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about like when they're out that, you know, fairy, you know, game that they were playing at the second half of season 2. It's been a long time, okay, since I watched season 2. But I'm trying to bring up a lot more, you know, information because we do get a lot of Easter eggs that tie into season 2 and the movie in this episode. And by the way, I know I should have said this in the start of the video, but I'm going to be talking about a lot of season 2 and the movie. So if you guys haven't watched any of those, I highly recommend that you do not watch this part. But the start of it, you know, we see season 2 outfit Sinon. We see the whole game playing Gun Gil online, and this is pretty cool because we get to see what they all look like if they did play this game. We get to see a little bit of Lisbeth, we see a little bit of Klein, we see Silica, we see Asuna, her using a phantom sword in this game, not just Kirto, which by the way we have outfit 2 or season 2 Kirto, which is pretty cool. You know, we get to see all of our casted characters back, and it just brings a smile to my face that we get to see them here yet again, and a new game as well. Like, they're playing GGO. Like, this is something totally different because they've always been, you know, the kind of fantasy and RPG kind of, you know, squad, but then playing a first-person shooter, it's pretty cool. I'd love to see kind of their outfits and kind of how they would play. And this, definitely the second segment of this is definitely putting out more market to SAO Fatal Bullet, which was a game that actually did come out this year. And we actually see a promotional code of it, you know, hidden behind the episode of SAO Fatal Bullet. We actually see when they're actually at the bar talking with each other, just before it kind of goes through POV, we see two of the characters, two female characters from SAO Fatal Bullet playing pool. So I like that little Easter eggs here or there, like even though they're doing a lot of a promotion of the game, I definitely like it that they actually have, you know, some of the video game characters tie in with the anime, which is pretty cool. I definitely like. And a big thing that caught me off guard, I had no idea they'd actually do this, is bringing back Death Gun, which I love, because when we see at the end, or I guess, you know, the first half of season 2, we see, I guess, the crazy guy that always hang out with Sinon. It's been a long time, I forget his name, but, you know, he's been arrested, you know, taken care of, but his brother was still on the run. His brother was the last member of Laughing Coffin, which Laughing Coffin, of course, is, you know, the big killing group that was part of season 1, you know, the guys that didn't follow the rules. They always wanted to hunt people down, because the story with SAO is if you die in the game, you die in real life. So this guy was, you know, a psychopath, if you call him that. You know, he always wants to terrorize people, especially with Kirto, of what he did with his younger brothers. So we see Death Gun back in this season, which I am so happy about. Definitely one of the biggest villains in SAO history. So seeing him back, awesome moment. I'm glad about that. But I'll try to talk about this other thing, which Kirto talks about with Sinon and Austin in this episode. It's kind of his job and what he has to do and kind of everything like that. I'll try to explain as much as I can, because I just went through this episode. I'll try to write as much stuff as I can, or try to remember, because while Kirto talks about his job, it was a little bit confusing of what all happened. So he works for a company called Wrath. This was, you know, kind of the big segment at the end of the movie that the guy actually talked about. Like, literally the last scene was Wrath. Like, this was a new episode, or I guess a new path, because the movie was canon going towards season 3. And Kirto mostly has to go into the system, which is the soul transfer. The soul transfer, of course, connects to your soul. It's not like kind of the full dive, which connects to your brain and everything like that, which we see, you know, from the past, that, you know, it's kind of a dangerous thing. But the soul transfer, you know, with this job, and when he goes towards the underworld, that it's like having a big dream, for example. You know, if you have a dream and it's like, it feels like it lasted 2 to 3 hours, but in reality you only dream for about, you know, a couple of minutes. That's kind of the time skip that we see in the first half of this episode. It's kind of like, oh, some days happen, some months happen. When he goes into the soul transfer, or the, you know, the dive system, or the underworld place, that he's been in this place for like 2 to 3 months, or even like a whole bunch of days, but in reality he's only been there for a couple of minutes. So that's kind of the full dive and system that he's talked about with Asuna and Sinon in this episode. You know, there's still a lot more that, you know, he can't remember, because when he goes into this system, he can't remember anything. You know, he doesn't remember Alice or Iggy or anything like that. But we see, you know, kind of at the start or at the ending towards this episode, he's starting to get his memory just a little bit of Alice and Iggy, which of course we're going to see more into the episodes of SAO. So that was mostly episode 1. I know that there's probably some stuff I definitely forgot, but season 3, guys, I'm just so happy that it's here. Like I said, waiting 4 years for a season like this to come back. I'm excited. I cannot wait to go for it. And I think there might be 2 paths. I don't know specifically, because Sinon in this series, or I guess this episode, she was talking about the new BOB, the Battle of Bullets. Of course, that's a big tournament that happened in season 2. So BOB, I think it's 5, I do believe, that was in this episode, is going to be going down. She asked Asuna and Kirto for help so that they could win and take out this guy who is the #1 ranked player in Gun Gale Online, which we thought it was Kirto and Sinon, but of course there's definitely a more advanced. So if we see another Battle of Bullets in this season, plus the Alicization or the Underworld arc, this is definitely the best season of SAO that we have. 1000%. This beats season 1. This beats season 2, in my opinion. That if we get 2 different storylines happening in one season, it takes the cake. And especially with SAO, this is going to be 50 episodes long, by the way. 50 episodes, like that's insane. Like, it's always been 12, or I guess 24. It's been 24 episodes for each one, but 50 episodes, that just takes the cake. Also, before, I want to give you guys this news that 50 episodes, it's not going to just happen. Like, we're not just going to get a full year. It's going to go 24 episodes. They're going to stop, take a little bit of a break, and then continue on with it. It's like what Attack on Titan Season 3 is doing right now, that they're going to be doing 12 episodes and then taking a little bit of a break, fix the animation, make it look a lot clean, and then it will return back in January for next year. So that's kind of what SAO is doing with it. I kind of like that, because the animation, by the way, in this episode, they're following along of the animation that was part of the movie, which the movie had the best animation, and you can definitely see that in this episode, that it was just clean all the way. By the way, animation was beautiful. The fight scenes were great. I think the storytelling, it was a little bit confusing at first, but you start to kind of progress and kind of learn all about it. But yeah, I love this episode, guys. It is a highly recommended show if you guys have not watched SAO. It's definitely something that talks about with season 1, with season 2, and the movie. So I highly advise that if you're going to watch this season, watch all of those before this, because there are some Easter eggs leading up to just this episode, and they'll probably talk a lot more throughout more episodes. But yeah, this episode, guys, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. It's definitely something I'm going to watch again. Good that they did 50 minutes. It got a lot of what the story is going for, a lot of the characters, and I just thought it was beautiful. And just hope you guys all enjoyed this. I'm glad to finally have SAO just starting out with YouTube. You know, this is a season, this is an anime that I wanted to do for so long, talking to you guys, and I'm happy. I'm just great. I know I said that a lot throughout this review, but if you guys enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, comment down below of what you thought of this episode and SAO in general, and subscribe to the channel. That'd be greatly appreciated. But either way, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you guys every single Saturday for a new review of SAO Alicization. Much love, guys, and as always, have yourselves a wonderful day.